do that last week, but I am starting the recording right now, so we will have a recording of this session. We're basically going to cover grading today. As much as I could learn in the last week or so about it, I'm going to try to give to you. So hang on one second. Okay. So I'm going to start us off at the EGCC website, just so if there's anybody on here that hasn't been there yet, you'll see how to get there, how to get to Canvas. So I'm on the EGCC website. I'm going to go to the employee portal. And then it'll either bring up something like this, or it'll ask you for your username, which will be your email address, and then your login. And this login is the same as getting into your email or self-service or any of those. So from there, it'll bring you to the employee portal. Go to applications, and then the Center for Teaching and Learning. Here we'll click on Canvas. And if you haven't went in and done your first day training session yet, this little video right here will tell you how to get there and how to do that. So if you're not, especially for those that haven't used Canvas before, if you haven't used it, this is a great place to start with this video and doing the first day training. We're going to go ahead and go to the Canvas login, which is right here. And once we get switched over, there'll be a link on the Gateway portal for this as well, just like my classes. There'll be one for Canvas. I don't think it's there yet. So, but you can go here and go to Canvas login. Should bring you directly to your desktop. So that's how you would get into in here. I did want to mention, and maybe I did already, we have about 66 people on right now, which is wonderful. And what I was going to say just left my mind, so it'll come back to me. But oh, I know what it was. I do have everybody muted, as I said. I do have the chat box open, so if you have any questions, please feel free to add them there. I'll try to keep up with them. If not, I'll go back at the end and try to catch up with the rest of them. Okay, so we're going to go into the class. I'm going to use my training course, and your class will look something like this. The first thing I want to do is show you how to set up groups for your assignments. This is because if you need to do weighted grading, if you have weighted grades in your class, you'll need to have them set up in groups. So to do that, I'm going to go to assignments. And as you can see here, I've got 3 groups. I've got quizzes, discussions, and assignments. This probably won't apply to most of the adjuncts, but if I have any course developers on here, this might be helpful to you. If you need to make a new group, you could just go to click on group and give it a name. So now I have a final group down here. I do have a final exam, so I'm going to move this down here into the final group. You can do it that way just by dragging it, or if you're in your assignment, so if we go to this assignment and go to edit, there's an assignment group. So this is where you would choose, as you're creating assignments and discussions and such, where you would choose which one you want it to be in. Okay, so we've got our group set up now, and we want to weight them. In order to weight them, we would go to the drop down over here on the right hand side, choose assignment groups weight, say we want to group them, and then this is where you would give the percentage for each one. Oops. And of course they have to add up to 100%. Once you've done that, then you would save, and that would weight the grades for your class. Okay. Stephanie's asking if it's just for developers. Some of it, it's going to be a little bit of both because I've got both here, but it'll be, we'll be looking at grading more so, but just a couple things here at the beginning. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my class modules. And I also wanted to point out to you the student view. And the reason I'm going to do this is because you may be able to go in later and see, you can go in and do some of your quizzes and stuff, and then you can go in and look at the grade book. So that's why I want to show you this. Over here on the right-hand side, when you're on your home, you'll see student view. And basically what the student view is exactly what it says. It's what the students see. So it's a good way to make sure that, you know, everything is published that you want published, that your dates are set correctly, that kind of thing. But it also creates a student for you in your grade book. So that's why I wanted you to see this. You can go into the assignments. Let's see. I've already done some of these, so I want to see if I have one. You can go into the assignments as the student and you know, do the activities. So that's a good thing, and then they'll show up in your grade book for you. Okay. All right. So once you've done that and you've looked, you know, make sure everything looks the way you want it to be. Maybe you've done a quiz or two or whatever, and now you're done. You can leave the student view, which if you leave the student view, it keeps those activities that you've done. If you hit reset, it's going to reset all of those activities. So at this point, I'm going to go to leave student view because I've used that to set up a few things in my grade books so that I can show you. Okay. For those of you that may not be familiar, these check marks mean that these items are published and that the students can see them. So right now it looks like my textbook module is not published. That's one thing you're going to want to make sure you're doing in your class, is make sure it's published. And it's just as simple as clicking on the item on the green check mark. It'll publish and unpublish it. Also, another thing that you're going to have to make sure you do before classes start is make sure your course is published. And I believe, I'm trying to think I have a box in the way. There will be an item in the top, on the top, that'll say published. You'll have to hit it. I'm not seeing it here. And probably because this course is published, but keep that in mind. Okay, so first I'm going to go through the speed grader, which is a really nice aspect of the grading for Canvas. And you can access the speed grader from a couple different places. You can access it from right here, from your to-do list, as items pop up that need graded. If we click on it, it'll take you directly to the speed grader. You can also access the speed grader from an assignment. So if I go to one of my assignments, I have the speed grader right here. Just click on speed grader. It'll take me to the speed grader again. And the other area you can get to it is from the grades. So if we go to the grades, we'll see our grade book. And if we click on an assignment, we'll have the speed grader again on the right-hand side. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to my grade book because there's a specific one I want to show for the speed grader. This assignment, so I can click on the assignment and go to my speed grader. And here's the speed grader. Some things on this page, there's quite a bit of information here that's helpful. Starting at the top, we have this icon. This will take you back to the gradebook at any time. The eyeball will post or hide grades. So if you don't want the students to see the grades right away, as you're grading items, you can turn that off and on. Right now, it won't let me do anything because I haven't graded anything, but that's what that's for. The settings has some options for you. It allows you to sort the student list. So you can sort by the name, by the date they submitted, or by their submission status. And it also allows you to hide a student's name in the SpeedGrader if you want to grade items anonymously for them, so you don't know who they are. It also gives you the assignment name, the due date and time, and what course you're looking at. On the right, it'll show you how many have been graded. And then this area takes you through the different students. So you can see my other students did not submit anything, only my test student did. In this right-hand column box, this is where you'll do the grading. You can see when the student submitted the assignment. If you want to download them, you can simply click on the file names or the download button on the side, and that'll download those to your computer. There's two different options. You can use just, give them a grade out of however after you've looked at this. Or a really nice option is if you have a rubric in your class, and some of the classes do, some don't. We're still working on getting some of those in. But if you use a rubric, it allows you just to click on the item. So if I click on this, and then I click on this, and go over here, you can see it's given them the points for what you've chosen. I believe you can also adjust these if, say, you want to do 12 instead of 13, you can do that. So once you've done that, then you would just save it, and that would submit the grade. You have an area to add comments if you like. You can also attach a file. You can do a little video response if you like, good morning, or you can do just an audio response as well. Okay. All right. See questions coming in. I'll see if I can. I'm familiar with Canvas. Am I required to do the first day training? I don't believe you are required. There is a certificate at the end, which you can, print out the certificate and send it to HR, and they'll put it in your folder if you like. Somebody's asking about faster way to get into classes. I'll try to show you that after we get done, how to do that. What is SpeedGrader? We're looking at SpeedGrader. Oh, I see Vanessa's on with me. Thank you for answering that. Will the rubrics be auto-loaded? Do we need to create? We are trying to get some of them in, but I believe you do have the ability to do that yourself if you like. Okay. Where do I find the HR address? The HR address is simply hr@egcc.edu. Okay, a couple other things here on the grading screen. As you can see, we have pages here. We can navigate through the pages. You can zoom in and out of the document if you need to. You can go to full screen if that helps. To get out of full screen, you hit escape. It brings you back here. Then we have a number of annotation items here. Simply just click on the one you want. This one is called point annotation. So we could do this, and then you can leave your comment here. There's highlighting, which lets you highlight the item you want to annotate. And then you can make another comment here. We have text annotation, which is just a box. Which it looks like you can move this around after you've done it if you don't get it quite in the right place. We have strike through, which will strike through the item and allow you to make a comment there as well. This is a free form drawing tool. You can choose your color, you can choose the thickness of the line and circle stuff and make a comment that way. Or we also have a area, so we can do like this whole area and make a comment for that. Okay, I think that's pretty simple. It's very nice. We didn't have this ability in LabCloud, so I know this will be very helpful. Okay, some are asking again how to get to the grading area. There's a couple of different ways you can get to the grading area. First, I'm going to go back to the grade book. If I click on the column heading, the assignment name, you'll see the speed grader here on the right-hand side, and that's also true for an assignment or a discussion. The speed grader will be over here on the right-hand side. Another way to get to the speed grader is as your students submit assignments, their assignments will show up here on the right-hand side. If you click on those, it'll take you to the assignment, and it'll take you directly to the speed grader. Okay. For audio feedback, do instructors have option between streaming only and download? That I am not sure. If you want to email me that question, I will certainly try to find out for you. Can we do student polls and anything in Canvas? I believe you can do surveys in Canvas. And we'll look at maybe some of that a little closer when we start looking at assignments and that kind of thing. When the students view a graded document with annotations or notes, will they need to download the document or will it automatically populate for them? I would assume that it's going to automatically populate for them. Let me see if, I don't know if I saved those annotations. Let me see if I can go to my student view and look at that and see. Well, I either didn't save them or it's not showing them for some reason. Let me check on that and I can give you that answer. Okay, Vanessa said yes, they will be able to without downloading. Will OpenMath still be used and grades sent to Canvas? Yes, they will be. Okay, all right. From here, I'd like to go just to the grade book. I do want to mention too that there is an instructor app for Canvas, and you can grade in it as well using the speed grader. So if you haven't downloaded the app, I would recommend you do that and take a look at it and play around with it a little bit. You can certainly find, excuse me, information in the Canvas guides about the app and how to download it and how to use it and all of that kind of good stuff. So, okay, so let me get out of my student view now. I'm at my grade book. As the students are entered into the class, which is done through our automatic integration. They'll show up in the gradebook for you. As graded items are created in Canvas, as assignments and discussions and quizzes are created, they'll show up here in the gradebook. And there are some ways to filter and sort and all that kind of stuff. So if we go to view, we'll start here, we'll go to view. You can see that you can arrange them in different orders. You can sort them by name, by the due dates, points, and by modules. So you can do that. You can also filter by assignment groups and modules. So if we do assignment groups, this box will pop up here, which will allow you to look at just the assignments if you like, or the quizzes or whatever. You can do that. You can also filter by modules. So if we choose modules and you just want to look at, say, Unit 3, that'll just provide the assignments for Unit 3. The status, you can add, it'll show you these as, I don't have any set, so it's not going to show them for me, but you can use that. Okay. A couple other things, we have actions. You can import and export grades. I haven't looked into this real closely yet, but I'm sure that you probably have to have a specific CSV file, what it needs to look like, and you can see it it'll take you to the help document on how to do that. Oops. Okay, I'll go back to grades. Also in the grade book, you can resize these columns if you need to. You can also reorder them just by dragging them. Okay. You can also sort by in each column, so you can sort by the grades or if they're missing or late. There's also a nice little feature here. It's called message students who. If we click on that, it gives us the option to send a message to the students that haven't submitted yet, that haven't been graded, they've scored less than, whatever points you assign there, or scored more than. So that's a nice little option to keep your students informed on what they need to be communicating with them. And there's also a couple other, options here that you can look at. Let's see. One other thing I found that I know this has been a question for us, especially when it came up when we were in LabCloud, and it's entering zeros for assignments that are not completed. If you go to the gear over here on the right-hand side, it brings up your grading policy, and it has a late policy which will automatically apply the grade to missing assignments. So you can set this, to whatever you would like it to be. Probably 0 if it's missing. So that's an option. This will allow it to be automatically apply this grade if it's missing after the due date has passed and the assignment hasn't been submitted. So that'll be helpful for you. And I know that's always been a question for us when we're doing grading. Don't really have anything else to show you. There is a new gradebook that'll be coming in some time, and once we get that, we'll go through and do another training. But it's not quite ready yet. So I'm going to go back and see if I can look at some of these questions. See if I can answer. Okay, can we do 0 quickly? That's what we just did. Let's see. Can you build a grade book for an NC class that doesn't have Canvas assignments? I'm not quite sure what you mean, Beth, but if you're talking about the My Open Math, no. I'll have to think about that, Beth. Sorry. Oh, Vanessa says yes. Okay. Should we wait till the end to put in zeros? You know, I think that's a little bit, Vanessa might want to talk to that a little bit. Usually we recommend that you have due dates and that, you know, the students abide by those due dates. You know, and then if some circumstance comes up that they reach out to you, you can go back and redo the assignment.
So yes, assignments must be graded within 72 hours of the due date. So most due dates are on Sundays. So of course that's when students should be submitting those. And according to the annual adjunct contract that you sign, grading must occur within 72 hours.
Right, right. Thanks, Vanessa.
Welcome.
What if doing a hybrid class and have an assignment outside of Blackboard? Well, I mean, if you're grading the assignments in Canvas, they should be in Canvas. I know there's going to be some I mean, that's where your grades would be. So you can add assignments that let me see if I can show you. You can add an assignment that does not have a submission to it. So let's see, if we were to create a new assignment, you can create an assignment that has no submission, which it'll still give you a place where you can put the grade in Canvas. Hope that helps. Okay. So is there any other questions on Canvas? Next week, I'll be covering communication. So we'll be looking at the inbox, announcements, that kind of thing. Oh, I know somebody did ask about a quick way to get to Canvas later. I believe the plan is to, on the Gateway portal page right here, we'll have my classes for Canvas as well. We'll have to check into getting that ready pretty soon. Classes will be, we plan to upload the sections around January 6th. As I said, we're still working really hard to get all the classes ready. It's been a pretty quick turnaround for us, so we're trying to get everything in as quickly as we can. Are we going to cover attendance at some point? Perhaps. We really haven't found a great way to find attendance in the classroom. You know, I think you'll be able to see if you have your due date set for your assignments. If the students turned in the assignment that week, then they had attended, but we'll need to look at that a little closer. How long will the classes in LiveCloud be available? We're still trying to determine that, hopefully for a couple months at least, but I do have all the cartridges backed up, so if we need to find something, we can do that, or we can contact them as well. Where will there be an icon box to click on in the application catalog? I assume you're speaking about the employee portal. So if we go to the employee portal and applications, Center for Teaching and Learning, it is here now. So we go here, and then the login is down here. Okay, so Victoria says if we go to the course navigation, you can see the course statistics. I'm sorry, I don't remember where that's at. This will give you a list of the students that are reading language. See if we go to grades. Okay. All right. Do I have any other questions before we say goodbye for today? And as I hope you know, if you have any questions along the way, please feel free to email me or any of us in our department. We do our best to answer your questions as quickly as possible. So hope everybody has a good weekend. Hope you're all getting ready for the holiday here. We'll see you next week. Thanks, everybody.
Hey,
Thanks,
Patty.
Patty.
Patty,
Yes.
this is Alex Abrams. I had a quick question for you, unrelated. Is the Christmas party today at the Steubenville location, or am I getting confused?
I believe it is. I'm in Youngstown. I believe the one in Steubenville is today.
Okay.
And are you talking about the party today or this evening?
I don't know. I knew there was one today. I thought at the campus at Steubenville.
Yes, there is one at the campus that starts at 11 o'clock, and it's in Founders Hall.
Okay. Thank you much. I greatly appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Patty.
You're welcome. Bye, everybody.
Thanks, Patty.
Yep.